Mark Ogden hasn't been on since the close of the transfer window. Oggy, I want behind the scenes as to what was going on at Manchester United for those final 48 hours.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously they were playing a strange game with the goalkeepers because it looked like on, what day were we on? It looked like Sunday that Emi Martinez was on his way to United, but they were preferring Lammens, and I'm kind of surprised at that because, for me, Martinez is what they need right now. They need somebody with the strength of character, with personality, with a world-class ability to sort the defence out and bring some kind of confidence there. But they believe that Lammens is the better bet. They also felt that the cost of doing Martinez on a short-term loan was too high in terms of wages, so they went with Lammens, and I think they could live to regret that. I think they've got a situation in goal where they've got nobody they can trust, and they brought a young kid in who has got a lot of promise, but I'd love to know right now who Ruben Amorim wants to play in the derby, because do you play two goalkeepers who've both let them down this season, who are both very, very weak and very dodgy at crosses, or do you throw a kid in on it for his debut in a Manchester derby? So they could have solved that problem by signing Emi Martinez, and you would have had no issues there whatsoever. In terms of getting players out, I think United did okay in the end. I thought they got Sancho out, they got Anthony out for a decent fee. They didn't get Toro Malacia out, but I don't think he was that big a deal anyway. He cost virtually nothing when they signed him. So overall, United have got the dead wood out, and we can be critical of United because they always make mistakes in the window. But I think we have to say that this rebuild, whether it's under Ruben Amorim or somebody else, the club are having to get rid of a lot of dead wood. A lot of that dead wood was brought by Erik ten Hag, who, I think Baleba could just saw right through Erik ten Hag after about 2 games. So it's a sense of getting jobs done, getting people cleared out quickly, so that the next window they can start building properly. It is going to take time, and I know we've said this over the years with Man United, it'll take time, but I think now finally they have a regime in that knows they have to turn it into a different direction, and they started doing that. But obviously they could have brought a midfielder in, they could have brought a better goalkeeper in, but I guess with the financial restrictions they've got, they did as best as they could with this window. But obviously there are still frustrations because they've still got gaping holes in the team that need to be filled.
Oggy, when you say they, who makes that decision not to bring in Emi Martinez, a World Cup winning Premier League experienced goalkeeper that you so desperately need?
That would be Omar Barada, the CEO, Jason Wilcox, the Director of Football. Obviously that will be led by ultimately Jim Ratcliffe and the Glazers. The Glazers are still, they still have a big voice at United because they still have sign-off on the transfers, so it will come down to the money. Now, Jim Ratcliffe, I'm told, is prepared or wants to be more aggressive in the market, almost to say, like, let's test the rules. Let's see how strong the Premier League are, and if we breach PSL, what are they going to do? Are they going to fine us? Are they going to dock us points? Because obviously, while all this is going on, Man City still haven't had their verdicts for the 115 charges. So there's a sense that Jim Ratcliffe wants to push harder. Everyone else at the club is saying, no, you have to be careful, you have to make sure we spend within our means. And United have done that, but if they'd spent another 60, 70 million pounds, they could have got a better midfielder, they could have got a midfielder in, and they could have brought Emi Martinez in as well as Sanne Lammens, and had Lammens learning from one of the best in the world, but they chose not to. And like I said, they could live to regret that because they haven't, for me, got a goalkeeper they can rely on yet this season.
Do you want to say something?
I was just thinking, if I'm wrong, tell me if I'm wrong. I thought I heard Oggy saying that they've got people in place that know what they're doing. Did you say that?
They've got people in place who are doing the job. Listen, even prior to Wilcox and Barada coming in, they didn't have people doing those jobs. So while Liverpool and Chelsea and Man City over the last 10 years have had people doing the jobs that grown-up football clubs have, United haven't had that. So they've actually got a structure in place now where there is accountability. There are people you say, that's his job, that's their job. There's a guy called Christopher Vivell on recruitment, who was at Chelsea and at Leipzig. So they have people who are supposedly experts at their role. They might turn out to be, but there was a vacuum before they arrived. So what I'm saying is they now have a structure in place whereby people who are doing jobs that other clubs have got people doing, United now have that. Prior to that, it was basically Ed Wood was play toy. It was, it was Richard Arnold throwing money around, and it was chaos. So they've actually got people in place to do the job, so time will tell if they're doing it well or doing it properly.
Still no plan though. You can't turn around and tell anybody you've got a plan when.
And if there ever is a man with a plan.
Yeah. when with 2 hours of the transfer window to go, you're either going to sign an old geezer or a young geezer, and you it almost feels like they've tossed a coin and gone for the young guy. That's not a plan.
Yeah, but Steve, to be fair, no, listen. I tend not to give Man United much credit, but on this they had a plan which was to get Premier League experience, in which they did with Cunha and Buma. They've done that. They brought in a striker. The plan with the goalkeeper, maybe they had a plan. They were playing off Villa against Antwerp so they could get a better deal for Lammens. But if we talk about clubs having a plan, why did Liverpool leave it to the very, very last minute to sign a centre-half, which they'd known they needed all summer? So even the best club in the business this summer has made mistakes in the market, in the transfer window. So, you know, even Liverpool aren't perfect.
Well, that's not really true. They've been trying to get
All right, come on, it's Liverpool TV, United TV. Do you want to chirp in as well? City TV on top? Go on, Neelam.
I'm not interested, Dan.
Yeah.
No, I'm not bothered. Let them talk. Let them fight.
Who finishes higher, City or United, Neelam?
Oh, go away, Dan Thomas. Next question. Go away.
We'll say thank you very much to Mark Ogden, as always, much appreciated. A transfer talk web scrape? Well, why not? Take a look at what might be happening in January.
What?
What? Be sure to check out where it went wrong or indeed right for some clubs over on our website.